Okay, the first thing I should probably tell you off top in this video is that I'm going to use a lot of basketball references. So just be warned, look these people up if you're not really sure what's going on with me and all these basketball references. It's going to be really relevant because everybody likes to make comparisons and superlatives, especially in sports. So it's relevant to me as a basketball fan too. So you're not only going to hear a lot of basketball references, you might hear a lot of 90s ones. I kind of grew up with that as well as the current basketball. So, anyway, talking comparisons here, comparisons and superlatives. And when I talk comparisons, I'm going to be talking about comparisons of inequality. Someone is taller than or smarter than the next guy, or comparisons of equality. This guy is as smart as the next guy. So that's what I mean by comparisons here. And by superlatives, I'm talking about the best, the worst, the smartest, the dumbest, the tallest, the shortest, the fastest, the slowest, all of that. So let me get started with a comparison. Okay. So let's say Yao Ming, right, one of the tallest NBA players you've probably ever seen, comes into this room. And then he's followed by Muggsy Bogues, an NBA player who was 5'3". I believe you're going to see an obvious difference there. So let me talk about that. Let's put at the center the word alto, tall. Let's put Yao here. Oops, there we go. And let's put Muggsy here. Right. So we got the two people we're comparing. We have the adjective that we're using to compare, right? Height, how tall these people are. Now let's put in the comparison of inequality. Okay. Yao es, right, is más alto que Muggsy. Yao es más alto que Muggsy. Yao is taller than Muggsy. Mas and K are really important because that's, for the most part, how we make comparisons of inequality in Spanish, right? We need más, more, K, than. Okay, so this might translate to you in English as more taller than. Let's not think about it that way. This is how you make most comparisons of inequality, with a más and a que. Más alto que, más inteligente que, más grande que, más pequeño que, más bajo que. Those are all comparisons of inequality. All right, let's take Muggsy out of the picture real quick. Let's take the mas and the k out of the equation real quick. Let's say we get somebody who's just about as tall as Yao Ming, give or take an inch. He comes in, and his name is Sean Bradley. Look him up too. Tall fella in the NBA. Now, can you say he's a good basketball player? I'm going to leave it up to interpretation when you see those videos. So, let's talk Sean. Sean's a giant too. Yao and Sean are both giants, and they are both about as tall as each other. So let me show you what that looks like. Oops. Yao es tan alto como Sean. Yao is as tall as Sean. So when we're doing a comparison of equality and we have an adjective that we're using to compare two people or things, we're going to use tan and como to do that. And just to kind of drive my point home about comparisons of inequality and equality, we're going to do another comparison of inequality between the two, Yao and Sean. And yes, I am going to be subjective here. So that's just what it is. Our adjective is atlético, athletic. Okay. So, aunque Yao es tan alto como Sean Bradley, Yao es más atlético que Sean. So, even though Yao and Sean are about the same height, Yao's a little bit more athletic. Now I want to go back to tan. Remember, I just said tan is used in front of adjectives and adverbs. So what about comparisons of equality when there's a noun after the comparison word? Well, you're going to use tanto, tanta, tantos, or tantas. Now that all depends on plurality, the gender of the noun, all of those things. So I'm going to use a simple example. Let's say there are 25 people in a chemistry class and there are 25 people in the Spanish class. Okay, I'm just going to ditto here. There's no need to do all this again. The only thing I'm not going to ditto, of course, is the other class. As you can see, my first statement is, hay 25 estudiantes en la clase de química. There are 25 students in chemistry class. And there are the same number in the Spanish class. Hay 25 estudiantes en la clase de español. Okay. So what does it all mean? This is where tanto comes in. All right, so like I said, I did a little bit of gringo magic here, so I'm going to give you a real sense, right? Hay tantos estudiantes en la clase de química como la de español. So what you're reading here isn't necessarily what I just said, but I just want to kind of give you a brief idea, right? The main thing I want you to see is our tanto, right? In this case, tantos because we have estudiantes here. We have more than one student, and it's a mixed group of students, we're assuming. So we have tantos and we have como, right? There are as many students in chemistry class as there are in Spanish. So that's tantos. Right? That's tantos. All right. Okay. So back to basketball. All right. So here we're going to make an irregular comparison. Now in English we have irregular comparisons too. You don't hear me saying more gooder, right? You hear me saying better. You don't hear me saying more better, you hear me saying worse, right? And one big argument these days is who is better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James? I'm going to let you argue about that. But for right now, I'm going to give you an example. The word we're going to use for better is mejor. You're going to see me set it up almost like I would any other comparison of inequality. Alright, so nobody bites my head off. I'm going to make a sentence with both, right? You figure out who I actually think is better. Alright, now, like I I said, I'm going to switch it around real quick. LeBron es mejor que Jordan. LeBron is better than Jordan. For those of you who are arguing that, right? Or for those Jordan fans, right? Some of those people who grew up watching them and will never ever let anybody say that Jordan is worse than someone. Here it is, right? Jordan es mejor que LeBron, right? So Jordan is better than LeBron. Either way, this is what mejor looks like. This is what better looks like. Now, let me get controversial, right? These are two really great players, so I hate to use this word either way, but just to drive the point home, and for all you fans of LeBron or Jordan, super fans, stands, whatever you want to call yourselves, here is worse. LeBron es peor que Jordan. Jordan es peor que LeBron. LeBron is worse than Jordan. Jordan is worse than LeBron. So again, y'all have that argument. Alright, so those are some really subjective comparisons that are irregular. Let me show you some ones that are a little bit more objective, right? And that's age. That's something that you can't deny. Although if you look at LeBron sometimes, dude looks like he's well beyond his age, right? But here we go. LeBron es menor que Jordan. LeBron is younger than Jordan. Jordan es mayor que LeBron. Jordan is older than LeBron. So that's something you can't really deny, and that's like your fan is just too far gone and everything is better about the next guy than the other, even somehow their age. But menor, younger, mayor, older. Alright, so let's make those superlatives, right? I can't really remember who's the actual tallest in the NBA. I believe there was some guy who might have been the tallest back in the 90s. But let's just, for this sake, let's go to 2006, right? 2007, where it was undeniable who was the tallest, right? And I might get this fact wrong too, because Sean Bradley existed back then too. Let's just call y'all a real basketball player. Yao es el más alto de todos los basquetbolistas. Yao is the tallest of all basketball players. Now, again, let's just talk about it in his particular time in the NBA. And I know I might get a question or two, especially when Sean Bradley was out there. So that's why I said earlier, give or take an inch. So let's talk about the tallest, right? And so when I want you to use a superlative, talk about the best or the worst, I want to make sure I have the el, la, los or las in front of that comparison expression to make it a superlative. The best, the worst, the tallest, the smartest, the fastest, the slowest. Let the fight begin. I'm just gonna put a slash here. I don't feel like writing all that. Ron, Jordan, and can't forget about Kobe, right? I know people, especially now, feel a certain way about Kobe. So either one you plug in, so whether you say LeBron, Jordan, or Kobe, all right, the rest will be es el mejor basquetbolista del mundo. Okay. So whoever you choose, that was probably the best to you, right? The best. Now, again, to be more objective, the oldest of these players, Jordan, I would say something like Jordan es el mayor. He's the oldest. Jordan's the oldest. Whereas LeBron es el menor. He's the youngest of those three. Yeah. That's comparisons in a nutshell. Again, if you're not a basketball fan, my bad, but I am, and I thought these would be great comparisons, right? So use them with your favorite football players, any kind of sport you might like, any kind of music, any things you might want to argue with a friend for. Use Spanish comparisons and superlatives to do that. Adios.